I am so excited about today's video because today we are going to be talking about brushes, which is one of my favorite things in makeup. I love my brushes. I know you guys love your brushes too, and I've gotten so many questions lately about all of the brushes that I've been using in my videos, and I haven't been able to talk about them because they have not been available for sale. And that is why I'm making this video today, because this brand is actually launching on Kickstarter today as this video is up. So all of these brushes will be available today for sale, and I will tell you all about this. So I already know in advance that this is probably going to sound like a sponsored video, but trust me when I say I gain absolutely nothing from this. I have no codes, I have no affiliate links, I have absolutely nothing. This video is me showing my gratitude to the brand for sending me all of these brushes, and because they are amazing and I want to share them with you. So let's just get into the video so I can tell you a little bit more about this brand. So the name of the brand is Rephr, and it comes from the term reference, and you will understand a bit more about this when I tell you how it got started. So I was actually lucky enough to be able to meet one of the owners of the brand, and he was so sweet. He has been traveling around the States for a while now, just meeting up with all of the influencers, and I'm so honored to be part of this. Like, I think that is so cool. And I think the reason why he reached out to me, like he said in the email, was because he saw one of my videos back from December of last year, where I made a video talking about all of my favorite brushes for small and hooded eyes. And he said he got a lot of inspiration from that video on brushes that they could use. So a lot of the brushes that I have in front of me now have been prototypes that they have had on their site up for sale, but not for sale for like the regular customer, but for people who want to try them. I don't know if they were available for free in order to just get free feedback. I could be wrong about that. I don't know if people had to pay like a small amount to be able to test out the brushes or if they were free, but basically all of these brushes that I have here are prototypes, and these brushes have been tested by so many different people. There are, I think, over 4,500 reviews total on their site right now. So if you want to go read some of the reviews, I will leave a link to the website down below. I will also leave a link to their Kickstarter down below as well, but I'll talk a little bit more about the Kickstarter as we get into this video. So let me show you some of these brushes now. So they have two kind of brush sets. I will start off by first talking about the basic brushes that they have. This is from their core set. So this is what all of them look like, and these are all supposed to be very multifunctional brushes, and I really like that because I don't have a lot of that in my collection. I usually have brushes that are meant for only doing one specific thing. So when I first got these brushes, I was very confused because they are not the kind of shaped brushes that I am used to, but after having played with these for a little while, I've gotten so used to them that now I'm like, I don't want to do my makeup without any of these brushes because they are all so fantastic. So the core set consists of 5 different brushes, and brush number 1 is kind of a blending and packing eyeshadow brush. I like this brush a lot. It's a little bit too big for my liking, but I like that it's dual functioning. Like, you can blend with this, you can pack with this. It's really good for doing smoky eyes, is what like the best way that I've found to use this, because I can use this to really pack on shadow on my eyelid, and I can also use kind of the fluffy side here to blend out with. I think this brush is really, really good. But I think my favorite brush out of the eye brushes in the core set is going to be brush number 2. Because this is it looks to be a very basic kind of smudging and packing brush, but the size of this is just so, so good. I find this to be such a versatile brush. My favorite way to use this is to pack on shadow on my lower lash line, and it's just perfect for that, especially for someone who really enjoys having a very blown out lower lash line. It's also fantastic to pack on shimmers on the lid if you don't want to be like super precise on a cut crease and you just want to pack on shimmer basically all over your lid. It's so good for this. It picks up such a good amount of product. I really, really like this brush. The third brush is a brush that I feel like no brands make, and I don't know why. And this is a very, 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 very small pencil brush. This brush is so good for inner corner. It's so good for packing on shadow like close to the tear duct if you want to be like very detail oriented with it. You can also use this to really get into your crease if you want to be specific. It's great for if you've done a cut crease and you want to go over the cut crease with a little bit of extra shadow. It's just such a good brush. It's such a precise brush. It's perfect. I wish more brands made something like this. The only brush that I have found that is similar is one from Morphe, but the quality from that one, it's nowhere near what you get if you pick up one of these brushes, because this is just so good. So let me talk about the 2 face brushes that are in the set. Now, these are very unique to my collection, honestly, because I have not had or seen any brushes that are like this. So brush number 4 is an angle brush. this is something that I have kind of been looking for a very long time, but what I find to be so unique about this brush is that it's very small for being a angled brush. You don't see brushes of this size very often. This brush is great for contouring, like powder contouring. It is absolutely perfect for that. It's also good for blush, but what I like to use this for is a blush topper, so like a shimmery blush. I find it to be super good for that because sometimes with blush you pick up a little bit too much product, and I find that all of these brushes pick up a lot of product, so you need to tap them off, and a lot of my blushes are super pigmented, so I prefer to not use a brush that's as dense for my blush, but for using this as a blush topper, this just distributes everything so beautifully. I love this brush. I've come to love this brush. I wasn't sure in the beginning how I liked it, but I am so on board with this brush now. I absolutely love it. And honestly, the brush that gave me the most problems, I don't even want to say the most problem, but just the brush that confused me the most in the beginning was the number 5 brush, because this is a flat face brush. I don't ever use anything that's flat for my face. I tend to go for something like this, which is like very just round and fluffy. So when I got a brush like this, I was like, what do I do with this? Like, I was so confused. But honestly, this brush is so fantastic. Now that I've learned how much it picks up and that I need to tap this off and be very careful when I apply it, the results that you get with this brush, it's also just so soft. I don't know if I mentioned, but these are all made from goat hair. They are all handcrafted in Japan, which is crazy. And these are like the same quality that you get from a Hakuhodo brush, so they are pretty expensive. I will get into the prices later on, but I first want to just show you all of the brushes so you get an idea of what is in their range, and then you can decide whether or not you are interested afterwards, and I will give you all of the details if you want to go order any of these, because they are really good brushes. So this is the number 5 brush. So as you can see, this is like the size of the brush. I have a very small face. I don't know if my face is a good reference for this, but anyway, this is the size of the brush. I find this to be awesome to apply bronzer with. That's mostly what I use it for. It's also really good for blush. So what you can do is, I actually had to read some of the reviews on their site to figure out like how to really use this brush to its full potential. So what you can do is you can use one side of it for bronzer, and then you flip it around and you use the other one for blush. And the application that you get with this, if you're careful, like I said, it picks up a lot of product, so you have to be kind of careful. But it is so beautiful and so smooth, and I love this brush. I can see myself traveling with this because I don't need to bring so many different brushes. And you could also probably use the tip of this for highlighting if you wanted to. I prefer like using very small brushes for my highlighter, but if you're someone who likes more of a subtle highlighter that don't need to be as like focused with your application, even using the tip of this brush could work really well. You could also use the tip of this to contour with if you wanted to. It's such a good brush. So those were the brushes that are in the core set. So this set in particular retails for $99 today on Kickstarter. This is like 40% off for what the normal retail price is going to be, so it's a steal if you wanted to get these now. These are so much cheaper than they will be when they launch officially in December, so just something to keep in mind. It also comes with a brush case, which I will show you if I can find the end of. So it comes in a little case like this, which is just so cute. It also has their logo on here. It's very sleek. It's really nice. Unfortunately, at this time, you cannot buy any of these brushes individually, but they do have some sets that you can kind of custom make yourself if you wanted to get a mix of, like, say, these brushes and the ones that I'm going to show you now. You can absolutely do that, but the minimum amount of brushes that you can actually buy today or through Kickstarter whenever you're watching this video is going to be 5 brushes. So let me go ahead and show you like the other set of brushes that I have. And these ones are called the Bespoke collection. And these are not meant to be a brush set. These brushes are meant to complement the other brushes in the core set. So you don't need to buy all of these brushes. A lot of these brushes are very similar, and a lot of them are kind of meant for different kind of eye shapes and different kind of face features. So you definitely don't need all of these. You can pick and choose the ones that you feel are going to be more suited for your facial shapes and size and features, and whatever it is that you are looking for in a brush, you're probably going to find it in this set, especially when it comes to eye brushes. So I'm gonna start off by telling you a little bit about some of these face brushes that we have here. So the first brush is going to be the 17 brush, and this is honestly probably my favorite brush from the set, or my favorite face brush I should say, because this brush is so fantastic. I use this for concealer. I mean, I wouldn't really know what else to use this for. I guess you could use it for like cream blush too, but I use this for concealer. It's literally like the perfect size to blend out everything. It just fits everywhere. It's such a good brush. It's nice and dense. So I really like this. It just blends out products really beautifully. It doesn't leave it streaky at all. It's so good. Next up is brush number 18, which I literally use this brush every single day. I've mentioned it in another video as well, but this is the perfect under eye setting brush. It's the only thing that I use this for. You could probably use this for highlight as well. I do, like I said, I prefer kind of smaller brushes for my highlighter, so this is a little bit too big for me, but this is my perfect brush for setting my under eyes. And like I said before, like these are all supposed to be kind of multi-use brushes, and I can see this brush being used for a lot of things. Like you could contour with this brush, you could probably even like use blush with this brush if you wanted to. And I feel like because of the size of these brushes, they are so versatile, you can kind of do what you want with them. And I have a hard time finding brushes like this in other brush sets, which I mean, I guess is why they decided to come up with brushes like these, because they're awesome. The next brush is brush number 19, and this is basically the same as one of the ones that was in the core set. So let me just kind of compare the two here. So you can see size-wise, they are very similar this way, but when you turn them around, the number 19 brush, which is this one right here, is definitely a lot more tapered and kind of pinched than this brush. I forget which number this was, number 5. So they are quite different, as you can see, but I like using this one for blush in particular. This is probably my favorite one to use for blush. It just really fits on my cheek. It's really nice and soft. Again, you need to be careful with how much product you apply, because the brush does pick up a lot, so always make sure to tap off your brush if you're going to use this, but it just applies your blush so beautifully, and it's such a good density of the brush and everything about this brush. Like all of these brushes are so well made. Like I don't know how they did it. I guess that's what happens when you ask for feedback and people actually give you feedback and you listen. You come up with a set of brushes that are just amazing. The next brush is probably my least favorite out of all of these brushes, and this is number 20, and it's a fan brush. And the reason for this being my least favorite is just because I never use fan brushes. They're just not really my kind of brush. I've tried them for highlight, but I find that I prefer my highlighters to be a little bit more intense than what I get out of this. So if you like more of a natural looking highlighter, you're gonna love this brush. I feel like this is really good for like dusting away fallout on your face too. I haven't tried it for that yet, but I can see it being really good for that. But fan brushes in general is just not really my favorite, but I mean, I feel like the quality of this is really good for being a fan brush. But like I said, I can't really tell you too much about this other than here is brush number 20. It's a fan brush, and it's still a really good, nice brush, so, you know. So let's move into the eye brushes now. I have 6 of them here. I have opinions about all of them pretty much. Some of them are probably my new holy grails because I love them that much. They are so good. So I'm actually going to start off talking about my favorite brush out of all of these. This is the number 12 brush. So this is what it looks like. It's basically a bullet brush. Like it's got like a bullet tip where it's basically like a ball on top. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like round all the way. And this brush is so good. It's so versatile. This is great for packing on shadows, especially if you like going from darkest to lightest. Packing on the outer corner, and even like packing on in the crease on top of a tacky concealer. Oh my god, I love this brush for that. It's also great for the lower lash line. Such a versatile brush. I love the density of it. Like it's fluffy while still being kind of soft and still being kind of dense. Like it's a very unique brush. It's not something that I have in my collection at all. This is great for if you have really small eyes and hooded eyes like myself. I love this brush. I feel like I reach for this brush all the time, and I can see myself continuing to reach for this brush at all times, honestly, because it is really that good. The next brush is going to be brush number 13, and this is a very, very small blending brush. As you can see, it's tiny. Like this is tiny. I will show you like the comparison between like a normal blending brush. So you can see here, this is what most people would use. It's like a crease brush, and this is what this one looks like. This is my kind of brush. Like I love brushes like that. I'm such a sucker for a small blending brush. They are my favorites to work with. This one is great for honestly everything. It's also great for, like I said, with the other brush, packing into your crease and then blending out. It's also great for doing halo eyes. I actually used this today, putting on the shimmer on the outer part and the inner part of my eye. Great size for that, can be used for the lower lash line, can really be used for so many different things. I love the size of this, I love the shape of this, I love how soft it is, I love how well it blends out shadows. Just overall a fantastic brush. So brush number 14 and brush number 15 are very similar. They are just a little bit different in the amount of hairs that are on the brush, but the shape and like the size of the brush is pretty similar. So this one is obviously a lot thicker and like denser, but the shape of the brushes are basically the same. So I will show you the comparison to the previous brush. So basically they just kind of go up in size, if that makes sense, but the general overall shape of the brush is the same. So I would use this for basically the same purpose as I used the previous one. When it comes to this one, this is number 15 brush, I want to say. This one is starting to become a little bit too big for me, but this is good for like blending out shadow underneath your eye if you already packed it on. I can also go in with this as a clean brush and kind of blend out if I need to blend out extra in my crease. I never really use this brush to apply shadow because it is a little bit too big for my liking, but I've said before I have tiny eyes, so that's simply why. But this again is also a really good brush if you have kind of like more medium-sized eyes. I know it's weird to talk about eye sizes, but I feel like it makes such a big difference in like which brushes you choose. But if you have more on like the medium-sized eye shape and you like brushes that are a little bit on the smaller side but not like too small, you're probably going to really like the number 15 brush. It's great. And so for the next two brushes, these are probably my least favorite out of the set. This is the number 16 brush, and this brush, which I cannot find on the website, and I am extremely confused, and I thought I had them all looked up, but I guess I don't. But this is called the P09 brush, which is a prototype, so obviously the name of this is going to be changed, but this is a very long tapered like blending brush. I don't really know what to do with this. I've been kind of using it for highlighter. I haven't really had any other causes or reasons to use this brush, so I don't know why I can't find this on the website. But anyway, let's talk about the brush that is actually on the website, and this is the number 15 brush, I want to say. Wait, no, it's not number 15 brush. It is the number 16 brush. So this is what it looks like. It's also kind of a big tapered brush. You can see it's very pointy on the tip here. For the most part, I don't really like the very pointy ones because I don't really have a crease, and so for me to try to put something into somewhere where I'm supposed to have a crease when I don't have a crease, all it does is it creates a bit of a sharp line. Because I do have hooded eyes, I have to like fake a crease because I want my crease to be up here and not in here where... See, I don't even really have a crease, so this is not my kind of brush, but if you have a crease on your eyes and you like to be very precise and really get into your crease with your darkest shade, this is going to be a great brush for you. So I think that is all of the brushes in the set that I wanted to show you guys. So let me see if I missed something here. Okay, I don't think so. So let me just talk a little bit about what you can actually buy if you were interested in buying any of these brushes. So don't feel obligated to buy any of these unless you're actually looking for brushes, you know. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just giving you the information if you are interested. So what you can actually buy is you can get the core set, which I talked about earlier. These are going to be 5 brushes for $99. Which is a great deal. I will say you're going to have to be patient though. They aren't going to start making these until August, and they will not get to you until probably December. So the latest that you'll get your brushes is going to be December 20th. So it'll be like a good Christmas present if you were wanting to give someone a nice brush set for Christmas. I feel like that is definitely something I can see myself doing, like giving someone a brush set for Christmas. That would be such a great gift. But anyway, just so you know, you're going to have to wait a while because these are all handmade brushes, so it's going to take a while to be able to make all of these brushes and just send them out. So that's just kind of where the timeline for that is if you were interested in getting in any of these. The other option that you have is called the Bespoke 5, and basically here you can choose 3 eye brushes and 2 face brushes. From the whole range, you can kind of pick and choose. You can also do duplicates if there are any brushes that you are super interested in that you want to have more than one of and you don't want to have 5 different brushes. You can also do that. So that's going to retail for $110, whereas if you were to buy it not on the Kickstarter site, is going to cost you $185. So it's a pretty good deal as well. You can also, if you really want to go crazy and if you want to get 10 different brushes, this is called the Bespoke 10. So basically what you can do here is you can choose 6 eye brushes and 4 face brushes, and the price for this is going to be $199 for all of the 10 brushes. And if you were to pay full price for this, that would cost $368. So I said before, these brushes are expensive, but they are amazing quality. I would highly recommend them. They all get my stamp of approval. It's just going to depend on what kind of brushes that you need in your collection and that you find to be unique and that you think you're going to get a lot of use out of. Something else that is really cool about these is that you can actually custom make these, or not really custom make them, but you can decide the length of the shaft of the brushes. If that is something that is important to you, if you're a makeup artist, you can choose to have longer handled brushes, or if you are maybe more interested in having very short brushes, you can decide that on their website when you do decide to buy any of these. You can custom make them yourself to the way that you want them to be. So I think that is really cool. So I am just, honestly, if I were to recommend you brushes to buy and you just wanted to try out the brand, I would honestly say go with a core set, because this set is fantastic. It might take you a little bit of time to kind of get used to working with these, especially if you're not used to working with natural hair brushes, which I was not. So it took me a little bit of time to just kind of get the hang of how they pick up product, how they apply product, how they blend product. But once you do, I don't think you're probably going to ever want to go back to, you know, your cheaper brushes, because they're not the same. Like it's really a big difference. I feel bad like recommending something that's so expensive, but honestly, I'm probably going to become a bit of a brush snob, and I can't help it because these brushes are just, they're just so good. I don't know what else to say, guys. They're just so good. So I think that's going to be it for this video. So like I said before, all of these brushes are going to now be available on Kickstarter. So if you don't know what a Kickstarter is, it's basically just a pre-order to help fund their manufacturing of these brushes. It's nothing more than that. So I will leave all of the information that you need down in the description box. If for whatever reason you want to go check it out, please do. I don't think you would regret it. These brushes are amazing, and I am so thankful that I was able to try them and share them with you guys. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you're interested in any of these. If you have any questions, let me know. I would love to answer them. Also, like I said, they have over 4,000 reviews on all of these brushes on their site. So if you want to see what people say about the specific brushes that you are maybe interested in, just go on their website and you can see all of the reviews. You can see how people use these. You can see how people feel about them. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching this. As always, I hope you found it informative and that you are maybe interested in trying any of these out, because they really are such good brushes. So thank you so much to Rephr for sending me these brushes to test out and to share with you guys. And thank you so much to you guys for watching, as always. And if you are new to my channel and you would like to become part of my family, I would love it if you did. And hopefully I will see you all in my next video. Bye.